right, and welcome back everybody. We've got a new product to show you here. This is, of course, you can see right there it says pole saw. And I just wanted to explain a couple of things about it before we even open the box. This is a new design. Now, normally I kind of refuse all offers to do reviews these days, but this was unique enough that I wanted to do it. You see there, it will extend, it will telescope out to reach a higher limb, but it does two other things that I've never seen them do. First, the head will tilt so that you can change your angle and get a better reach for branches that are at an odd angle. And I think we've all encountered that with a pole saw, and I'll explain more about that later. But then the other interesting thing is that the chainsaw end of it comes completely off and becomes a handheld chainsaw. So normally, if you've ever done this sort of thing, with a pole saw, you need two tools. You need the pole saw and then you need the hand saw to chop things up to the point where you can bundle it or get it into the truck. But this one is two products in one. It's the pole saw and the hand saw at the same time. So you get everything onto the ground and then you detach the hand saw and use it in that way. So let's open up the box and take a look at what's really going on with this thing. Okay, so here we go with our first look inside the box. Take a look at how it comes shipped and how it's packed. I think I forgot to mention that the company name is Troozey, T-R-O-O-Z-Y, Troozey. They didn't tell me how to pronounce it, but I can't imagine there's any other way to pronounce that. Just getting the styrofoam off of here. So here's what we have. Obviously that's the pole, and then here's the handheld unit. Take our first look at the bar and chain. I think it's a 6-inch, which, like I've said before, in most applications your cutting is only going to be about really 2 inches or 1 inch, but you never really need very often a full-size chainsaw. So these little mini hand chainsaws are really, really handy because they're not bulky and you can get your job done. This is some kind of a guard. And this would be for the bar and chain oil. And then here's your battery. Let's see if I can get that out. It is a 21 volt. And then obviously this is the charger. Okay, and then the pole. And then you get a spare chain and the instructions. And I think that's everything, but what I'll do now is I'll pull everything out of all its little bags and compartments and everything and lay it all out and take a look at it. Alright, so here's a better look at everything. I had forgotten to mention that it came with this wrench. This is probably for chain tension, which is going to be, I guess I'll get to that in a minute. And then it also comes with a round file, which is for sharpening. If you don't know how to sharpen a chainsaw, basically the round file fits right into the curve of the tooth there, and then you can sharpen the teeth. Now the battery, you might be wondering, is it one of them that comes with the meter? And it is. So it came shipped fully charged, as you can see there, so we can use it right away. And that's good, otherwise you just put it on the charger there. Now over here I have put the cutting end, the mini chainsaw, I've clamped it to the pole, and I'll demonstrate that in just a second. But I wanted to show what it looks like clamped on there. Also wanted to show that the head will articulate. See here, you press this button and you can tilt it a number of positions forward. And the reason why you would want to do that is, like, if you're way up in a tree and it's sticking straight up, there will be some situations where you can't get into a little nook or cranny where the base of the branch is, and you want to do like that so you can reach in there and cut that branch. And I'll definitely demonstrate that in some situations when we take it out. And in addition to that, I'm not sure when this would come up, but it will also go backwards all the way to 90. And I'm going to think real hard as to why. Maybe if you're cutting something near the ground and you don't want to bend down. That's probably why. Interesting. But otherwise, it goes straight forward. I suppose at this point I should demonstrate the telescoping. It's just these clips here. So you undo one, and you can pull it out that way. And I hope I can back up enough to show it all the way. And so now it is this long. But wait, there's more. There's another one right next to there. Pull that one, and telescopes even more. And this is getting real long. I don't know the distance on it. Hopefully I'm putting that on the screen. But if I can back up enough to show the whole thing, maybe I can, maybe I can't. But it's really long. There we are. See there? So anyway, at this point, I think I'll collapse it so that it's easier to transport. And I will put the battery back into it. And we'll go trim. Just now realizing I forgot to demonstrate it running for the first time. As you can see, I put the battery in. It just slides in the same way that the head slides in and clicks. You got your little lock there. Well, let me show you that. So basically, put it in there like so, and click. And now you got the little safety right here. Press that, and you can pull the trigger. And you can see that the head works just fine. Okay, I also want to show, I think everybody's figured it out, but how you use the separate head. See how the head comes straight off? And I'll leave that right there. And then what you have to do is transfer the battery to the handheld unit. So now, simply put that in there. That clicks in, and then you have a separate safety right there that you press, and then pull the trigger, and you got a handheld. So neat. Okay, so here we are out on location now. You see I've got the pole saw all set to go, and I wanted to point out that I attached the guard onto there, and that protects your hand or something. But anyway, this is what we're going to be trimming, and the sun is just exactly in the wrong place, so it's going to be a little tricky. But as you can see, this is all grown over the driveway, and so we're going to clear that back a little bit, or a lot, and then in addition to that, we're going to get it off the house. And so this is where it's going to be handy that it articulates, I think. We'll see what comes up. And so what we have is branches anywhere from about 1/2 inch to that one's about 2 inches. and should be no problem. Of course, it is a 6-inch saw, and stuff like back in there, we've got all kinds of trouble here. So we're going to film all kinds of stuff. You know what's going on, so I'll just set the tripod up way back in kind of a wide shot. I brought the ladder out there, but I don't know for sure if we're going to need it or not. As I said, that telescopes out 2 more sections, and then you can reach up, and we'll see how high we can get. But if you see me going for the ladder, that's why. All right, let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, we got a big mess on the driveway already, but it's doing a good job, and it's doing it fast. I do not need to use the ladder. It is able to get up there high enough. And I know that the sun is in exactly the wrong position, so let me come over here. And you can kind of still see. But I did discover why you would want to articulate it. You may have seen me fighting with it a little bit up high. And let me try to hit that magnification button right there. You can see those right there. Those sections there. If the blade is angled straight up like that, and I was over here, and the sun's going to come into play, I wasn't able to get the right angle on that. And I want to demonstrate that right now. I'm going to angle it, and if you can see that one that goes off to the left, I'm going to use that one as an example of why you would want to articulate the head. So I'm going to articulate it down, I don't think 90 degrees, but a couple of clicks, and then we'll be able to see how it's able to cut it straight down rather than angled like that. And so it shouldn't bind like it did if it's angled like that. So let's do that now. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. At the end there, I decided to just cut the whole thing off. But before I did that, you could see that it was really handy being able to reach in there like that. And so that is what it's for. I don't think it's really for something down low, but the things that are up high, because you're kind of forced at that extreme straight up angle, it is handy to be able to turn it like that or articulate it to get it to angle down. That was neat. Anyway, so now we're going to move on to this area over here, this branch that's hanging over the roof. And that's probably the thickest one. That's right about 2 inches there, I think. So I'll try to get a tight angle on that. It'll be far away and close up so that you can see what's happening. Okay, so as you saw, it sailed right through that. It's about 2 inches there. And now I'm really starting to see why you would want the articulating the head, because say if that was a straight saw, what that would have done is cut it at an angle from me, heading up at an angle away from where you're looking. And what that would have done was drop that branch straight onto the roof. But since I was angled, it was cutting a little bit more towards me, which changed the angle of the cut, which ended up changing the angle of the fall. So instead of falling onto the roof, it fell onto the ground. And so, yeah, get the hang of this and get a feel for what it does and really be able to control what's happening here. That's really neat. Anyway, we'll just clear out some more branches and then start the reduction process. So, since that worked so well, let's do that again with the next one up there. Let me pan back and we'll film that too. cool is that? I mean, that is a trip. I can direct it exactly where I want it to fall with this head. You saw that? I was angled towards me and dropped straight over here instead of on the roof. I'm loving this. Very, very cool. So anyway, so now I've got to go back in there, and I don't think I'm gonna film all that. I think that, let me look around to the other side. Okay, so here on the other side, what we have is an oak tree that's trying to grow. The base of it is right there. Now that's not supposed to be there at all. So at this point, we're not going to be trimming way up there. We're just going to trim this way down here and get the whole thing out of there. And so what this will do is it'll show how well it does with oak, which is a hardwood. Let's do it. Wow, you know what? That was really pretty neat. So I was standing way out here, and so I didn't even have to go back in there. If you look in there, who wants to go back in there if you don't have to? And then hook around and be cutting from the other side of it, and got all the branches to fall towards me and onto these other bushes to where I can retrieve them without having to go back there. So that's really neat. That is really neat. I actually cocked it all the way to 90 degrees for that one. Really, really unique. Anyway, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cutting head off of there and transfer the battery to the handheld unit, and we're going to cut up all these branches and get them ready for bundling. Okay, so look at that. Significant reduction. And so now you've got all these in smaller lengths that you can bundle up or put in containers or whatever you want to do. And that's exactly what this is designed for. Cut the big stuff off the trees with the pole, and then cut everything up on the ground with the handheld part, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. Now, I did all of that on one battery. You know what? I didn't check the battery level. You know, you might be a little sad when you notice that it only comes with one battery, but let me see. See, look at that. It's still got lots of charge. The point I want to make is that it is a big battery. So it's just one battery, but it's a 3 amp hour battery. And so, you know, if you want to, you can add up all those cuts in the video, but I guarantee you there's over 100. There's probably 200, maybe 300, and it's not slowing down. So I actually haven't completed the job yet. I wanted to make sure I had enough power to cut it all up, and I certainly do. So at this point, I will continue on with the job and cut the rest of the branches down, but it certainly doesn't disappoint. Let's see, the sun probably moved by now. If you can remember what this looked like when we started, maybe I'll do a comparison. Oh, looks like there's some up there that I need to grab, and I will. So that'll do it. I must say it's pretty impressive. It certainly has got plenty of reach. I did not use the ladder, and so I would say this is a good thing. It's a new design. It's a new machine. I don't know if it's out on the market yet, but if you see it, make sure you grab it. The articulating head is handy, as it turns out. I will admit, when I started, I couldn't figure out why you would want to do that, but now I know exactly why. It's a really good thing, and it's got plenty of power. It actually really revs high. It spins faster than my other ones, which is also a good thing. And then it doesn't knock out its battery because the battery's big. Really neat. I must say, I like it. I'm keeping it. I'm going to enjoy using it from this point forward. Check down in the description. Boy, is there enough cars going by? Check down in the description and the top pinned comment for the link on where to get it, and go and get you one. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for the next one.